Hey, welcome, ladies. I am so excited that you're joining me for this lesson today. Today, we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, and it's choosing a business name. And then some people are like, that's the easiest thing ever. While some are like, oh my goodness, good thing you're talking about it because I've been on this thing for forever, for so long. So, hey, wherever you fall in, let's look at this topic together. How do you choose a business name? It's part of our packaging series. Remember, we're talking about packaging, which is the second um, very important step in launching a business or a new product or a new service or growing your business, taking it to the next level. You need to package. So we've talked about packaging your minimum viable product or service. Now we're going to talk about choosing a business name. Awesome. Now, I like Jason Cohen's quote. Jason Cohen says this, which is really cool. He says, it's more effective to do something valuable than hope a logo or name will do it for you. So you're probably like, what's he trying to say? Point is, business names are important. They are super important. Business names, super important. But it's not as important as doing the real thing, actually. So that's just what he's trying to say, right? The purpose of this class is to help you get to launch quickly, launch your new business, launch your new product, whatever. Launch quickly and avoid the activities that are common distractions for many companies. And there is no better example of this than choosing a business name, something that new entrepreneurs agonize over, or choosing a name for your product or service. Sometimes we just agonize over it. I can tell you, for me, how I agonized over deciding whether to call my business email consulting or to call it strategy to results. Like I just agonized over it for so long. I'm like, okay. Eventually, I just settled for one. Yeah, and I still sometimes think maybe I should have called it strategy to results. So I've decided to still, find a product or something to still call it strategy for results. And this is after like a year and a half of going into email consulting. So my point being, hey, there is no need to agonize over it. Business names are things you can change, adjust, add on anytime. Okay? Do not stress over it. There is no reason. You don't need to spend more than a day on choosing a business name. It will distract you from what is really important, which is creating something great that people can buy and it can solve their problems. This is ultimately what matters, and it's going to be what's going to make or break your brand. Your business will probably change significantly by the time you get established. For example, Nintendo started out making playing cards. Did you know that? Did you know this game called Nintendo that kids are crazy about? It started off making playing cards. Tiffany's started out making stationaries. Now look at where they are. You will grow into whatever name you come up with. Most names mean very little when they are first conceived. Check out Steve Jobs. He impulsively named Apple after the farm he dropped acid on. Can you imagine that? If that method works, then literally, ladies, anything goes. So you can change your business name down the track, and it's quite easy to do that. Even big brands have managed to do so successfully. How much more small brands, right? It can often be done even virtually at zero cost for small brands, and in a matter of hours. So, ladies, you're not stuck with your business name for life. Google started out calling themselves Black Rob. Can you imagine that? Now nobody even remembers that they were once called Black Rob. Everybody knows them as Google now. Yeah? Listen, ladies, bottom line, your customers really don't care. They don't care, really. They don't care about what you call what you know. Now, but I do know that you want the best. So let's look at a useful framework for choosing an acceptable business name. This is the highest level you need to strive for at this stage in your business. Having the perfect worldwide brand can come later, but we want to avoid having a terrible name. So let's consider this framework. And interestingly, the irony is that a terrible name is usually a result of overthinking it. So the more you think about it, the more likely you are to come up with a terrible name. So so please, let's not stress, but let's consider this framework. Now, the most sensible approach to choosing your business name is to come up with a few options. And here is the steps that you should take. I suggest you take. First, you need to get in a quiet place where you will not be distracted. Early in the morning or late at night to be preferred. Get on your knees and ask God to inspire you to choose the business name that reflects His thoughts and His preference, right? Remember, we talked about walking with the Holy Spirit earlier in the first week. This is a good opportunity for you to practice that lesson. The Bible encourages us in Proverbs 16, verse 3 says, commit your works unto the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. God is just complete. Like He doesn't leave anything out, ladies. So first, get in there and in a quiet place and ask the Lord, what's your thought, Lord, about this business name? What do you want me to call it? What's your preference? And believe that He has heard you. Open your heart, listen to your spirit, He will respond. Yeah? The next thing is that you need to take a pen and journal options that come to mind. Here are some naming tricks you can consider. You can think about the place. Apple was named after an apple farm. Adobe was named after a creek that ran behind the founder's house. You can combine two words to create a new one. Aldi, for example, is a combination of Albrecht, the name of the founder, and discount, right? Albrecht discount, Aldi. Intel combined integrated my electronics, right? Groupon combined group coupon. My company, email consulting, comes from my name, Chiemela, that's my middle name, and email. So you can see Chiemela, and I just took the EMEL. Yeah, email consulting popped out. My other company's name, which is called Zich Group, came from my children's name, Ziba and Uche. That time I had only two. Now I have three. Uh-oh, maybe I'm going to go change it. But anyway, so Ziba and Uche, Z-I-U-C-H, Z-I and C-H-E. Yeah, made Zich. So use an acronym. You can use an acronym for your service. IBM, for example, stood for International Business Machines. Look for industry terms too. In the IT world, for example, WP is commonly used for companies in the WordPress space. Use the dictionary, right? Jack Dorsey, he liked the name Twitch. So he looked at words around it in the dictionary and found the word Twitter. And there you are, Twitter, everyone in Twitter, Twitter, Twitter. Does it make any sense? Well, maybe not, but now it's so cool. You can extend the related word that Norris put inform into the wordoid, into word.com, and he came up with the word informally. You can even outsource it. Ask your friends on social media. Crowdspring.com is a site that will get others to come up with business names for you. So if you belong to any social media group, use it. Post it on the Instagram and get people to chime in, right? It's no big deal, ladies. We just have to choose one and move forward. Now, your job, you're going to have to run your business name ideas into through the framework, which I'll discuss in a moment. But one thing you need to remember is the time you spend looking at names, the weirder it's going to get, it's going to sound. IKEA was named after the first two letters of the founder's name, Ingvar Kamprad. IKEA. And the names of the property and the village in which he grew up. Whatever. Agonarade, right? See? He just put them together. Yahoo started um Yahoo off as Jerry's Guide, and then they changed their name to World Wide Web, and then they became an acronym for yet another hierarchical officious oracle. Yahoo. Yeah? Interesting. Here is a framework you want to consider. The first one is the name taken? It's best not to choose a name that's already taken. Since I'm not a lawyer, I cannot provide legal advice here on how to work out if you have the right to use a name or not. But in the bare minimum, you need to check. Is there a trademark on the name in your region? You can use uspto.gov/trademarks for the US. Is the .com of that name taken? Very important. Visit namecheap.com to do a quick check. This doesn't mean you have to rule it out, but it's an important consideration. Now, you also need to check, is the Twitter handle taken? This can give you a good idea of how active someone else is with the name. You can use noem.com to see what social profiles are active under that name. None of these are absolute deal breakers. I need you to recognize that. However, and that's because there are plenty of businesses who have started with names that have been used for other things. But it's up to you to look it up and figure out if you want to still go ahead with those names or if you want to, just find something else. Yeah. The second thing you want to consider is it simple? Always favor names that are simple, even if it doesn't mean anything. Being simple makes it memorable, right? You all think about it. The names that you remember are names that are pretty simple, right? Um, Eventually it will mean something, but besides, one thing you need to also think about is that you can use your tagline to give meaning to the business name. Yeah, you can, like me, email consulting. I thought about it. What's emails? People are not even going to understand what does that even mean. It's like, okay, email. Well, that's easy. Anyone can say that. But my tagline read, strategy and results for nonprofits. That's the tagline. So somebody can really be like, okay, that's what they're about, right? Good. Now, bottom line is best practice to keep it simple, within 12 characters or less. Okay, and another aspect of simplicity is it easy to say out loud? No matter how clever you are at marketing, there is a very good chance that your best method for finding customers will be word of mouth. Your business name has to be easy to say it out loud in order for people to talk about you. Amazon, for example, was originally named Cadabra. Sounds like a abracadabra thing. Anyway, but during one conversation between Jeff Bezos and his lawyer, the lawyer mistook the name for cadaver. Bezos then realized that others could make the same mistake, and so he changed the name to Amazon. Okay. Another framework you want to consider is another aspect of the framework you want to consider is the question: does it make sense for your idea? Is the name clearly does it clearly make sense for your idea? If it does, then it's a real winner. Dropbox, if any of you know Dropbox, Dropbox says what it does without being too specific. Again, is it broad? The broader, the better. You are an early stage company, so it's hard to know exactly what you'll be doing down the track. So don't use specific words in your domain name or specific mentions of your service or your location. This could change and create a bit of unnecessary work for you. Okay, so enough of names. Your challenge today is to use the choosing a business name chart to pick a business name to launch within the next few days, or a service name, whatever it is. Pick one. Journal the name you have chosen and share it with other ladies using the comments tab below this video. Again, don't forget to give feedback to the business names of other ladies as well. We're in this together and we're here to pull each other up. So don't be selfish. Share and give. Okay? And when you're done, come join me in the next lesson. Bye for now. Hello, ladies. Oh, I'm sorry. Today, we are going to be looking at another aspect of packaging, and that is drafting content for your website pages. Um, you know, launching a website is one of the very important milestone in launching a business, and so it's important for us to consider what types of information is important to have on your website, and that's what we're going to be considering today. Okay, so now when it comes to creating content for your website, every business is unique and needs something different. However, visitors to your website, especially your potential customers, they have set expectations of what they would like to see, what information they expect to find on it, where on your website they expect to find it, and so on and so forth. To help you determine what content pages to produce, here are questions you need to ask yourself, or ask the person who will be writing the content for you, a copywriter, for example. What pages do I need on my website? What should I put on the home page? Do I need a privacy policy? Should I have a testimonial page? Do I really need a company blog? On the About Us page, should I talk about myself or the company? Those are things you need to discuss as you consider creating your website. Yeah? Now, from where I sit, there are a few pages that I think you need to consider. Okay? And this is a very common question online entrepreneurs and small business owners ask when they are looking to develop a website. Here, I list the most important, what I consider the most important and must-have pages your business want to have on your business website should have. Okay. Now, when it comes to creating pages for your website, there are a set of web pages that I think are standard or general, for most websites. I mean, if you look at 10 websites, you probably find them in 9 out of 10. And it's very important for you to consider them. And there are about 13 of them. I know that feels like a lot, but I'll just run through them pretty quickly. And so you can always come back and listen up when you're creating your website or building your, trying to create content for it, just to figure out, which ones you probably want to consider putting. The first is the home page. This is the page most people will see first. And as such, it should tell everyone who you are and what your company does. The content on your homepage should be intriguing enough to capture the attention of your visitors. And it's very, very important. And it should be able to capture their attention within seconds. Now, what are you supposed to include on your homepage? Simple, a short description of who you are, what you do, and a brief explanation of your services and products. And perhaps you want to have some bullet points on how you can help your potential customers or clients. Now that's one is done. Now what next? The next one we want to consider in your homepage is that it has to be well designed. It should load fast. It should look very professional. There are studies that show that if you have 0.05 seconds, or rather you have only 0.05 seconds to convince people to stay on your website. Can you beat that? That is 0.05, not 5 seconds, 0.05. So when you have better. Second page is the About Us page. People do business with other people, and visitors want to learn a bit more about who the people behind the company is. So the About page is often the most visited page on the website. And so it's important for you to spend some time there to make sure that you're representing your company well, through what you put on your About Us page. Okay, what should you include there? A summary of your company, who it employs, with biographies, pictures of the staff, or just yourself if you're the only person, any special achievements you've received, and the ways you differ from others that provide the same product or service. I have this link there that you can check. I'm going to put it in the class lesson just so you can go right there and read up that article about making your About Us page look really cool, and how to write it. So check it out if you have some extra time. The next page you want to consider is your services page if you offer services. Here you can list details about the services you provide. You can begin the page with a summary of your services prior to outlining them. If your services are vast and their descriptions are quite extensive, consider dividing them into sections, as well as adding a link to the landing page where readers can learn more about a particular service. What do you include? A synopsis of services presented, bullet points of services with very short explanations, link to learn more about specialized services if you want. You need to talk about the advantage of using your service, how they differ from services of your competition. That's all. Pretty straightforward, right? Number 4, products page. That's if you offer product. This is your chance to offer details about the products you sell. Begin the page with a short summary of your products before listing them. If you sell multiple products, then you want to have an extensive information of each product on another page. Consider dividing them into categories and adding a link to their product pages. What should you include? An outline of products available, short descriptions of each product, link to product pages that contain more information, what the customer can expect by purchasing your product, why customers should buy those products from you rather than your competition. Yeah, I have another link, 25 must-have pages for your e-commerce website. Check it out. It will help you. Yeah. Now, the FAQ page. Yay, very important. People have questions. If you know if you can anticipate what people would ask, it's great to have an FAQ page. It would help people to kind of get to learn more about your what you're offering in your company. And some things around the terms, and some people put information about return policies and things like that on their FAQ pages. So if you can anticipate, as much as you can anticipate, the better. Okay. And next page is your testimonials or review page. Very important. If you can have this, that will be great. Very great. It's just a brief paragraph of praise from customers, perhaps as long as a sentence or two. Include photos and contact info of the reviewer, preferably with a headline above each testimonial to catch your customers' eyes. I have that thing, another link, 11 testimonial page examples. Read it, it will help you. Now, contact us page. Of course, that's pretty straightforward, no brainer. You need to have information on how people can reach out to you, right? Very important. How to make the perfect contact us page. That's a link you may want to consider also checking out. Again, blog. Should I have a blog? Should I not have a blog? Well, there is no right or wrong answer, but a survey by HubSpot found that 57% of businesses who blog have generated a lead from it. So something to consider, right? Privacy policy page. Yes, this is a must-have for every website. People need to know what you're going to do with their information. And I think the law also requires it. Not so sure, but I think the law requires it. So make sure you have one of those on your website. Similar to the privacy policy page, this is also a must-have on your website. What should you include? Rules, guidelines, laws that govern agreements in your state, laws around intellectual property disclosure, copyright laws, things like that. Those are the things you want to include in your terms and conditions page. I have a free tool, free terms and conditions generator tool down there that you can explore for your website. Yeah. And this brings me to the end of the content for your website. Now, your job today, your challenge today is to sit down and write the content for these 10 pages. It's pretty easy, trust me, it's not that complicated. Take this as a clue, write the content for these 10 pages, because even if you're going to hire somebody to create your website for you, they are going to ask you for this content. They'll ask you, please, can you give me what you want me to put in there? So take a moment today and complete these pages. There is a worksheet down there that just has all of this, and you can just plug in, and then have it ready to go on your website. Yeah. When you're done, come meet me in the next lesson, and we will be talking about building your website in one day. Yes, one day. Okay. Bye for now. Hey ladies, welcome to today's lesson. We are still on packaging, and today we are going to talk about building a website in one day. Yes, very doable, in one day. With the presence of all kinds of softwares out there, and web page builders, you can actually literally build a website in less than a day. And I'm going to run through that with you now, and you can try to do it yourself. But I know that we are ladies, and sometimes technology is not really our thing, so you still have the option of getting someone to help you. But for those who are adventurous like me, for me, I was so much of a perfectionist that I was like, I'm going to do it myself. I'm not sure anybody's going to do it the way I would love it. So I went ahead and I did it myself. But trust me, it didn't take me a day, because I was just learning it myself, and I was too much of a perfectionist. That was the biggest reason. Not necessarily because I was learning myself, but I was too much of a perfectionist. I would spend forever trying to decide on a color, literally. Like, I would spend 2 days trying to decide, do I want a pink or a purple? And do I want pink and purple, or pink or purple? Like, I'll literally spend that time doing that. Ridiculous. But now I know better, and I don't want you to do that. So I'm going to run through how you can build your website in one day by yourself if you like. Yeah? A good plan that is violently executed now is far better than a perfect plan done next week. That is from General George S. Patton Jr. What do you ladies think? I agree with him. A lot of times we spend forever trying to make our plans perfect, and we end up not doing it. Think about the example I shared in the earlier lesson, right? And again, like I said, that's what kept me from building my first website. It took me forever to build it. It came out really beautifully well, but then it took me forever. And I eventually didn't launch that business, right? So I'm a typical example of what General George is trying to say. Yeah? So the purpose of, now that you're clear rather on what your business idea is, and you figured out your business mission, you've also figured out what your minimum viable service or product is, you know what your business name is, it's and then you've written out the content of your web pages. It's time to present them to the world via a website or a landing page. The purpose of a landing page or website is twofold. First, to start communicating with customers and learning how they respond to your business or your new service or your existing service, whatever that is. Two, to start building what will ultimately sell your product or service. So you don't want to spend weeks or months on the landing page or on the website. One day is a reasonable amount of time to get your page ready. That's right. So there are a few general approaches you can take with setting up your site. First, you can create a site that is designed to capture email addresses before you actually launch your business. Or you can create a site that pre-sells your product before you launch. That's right. You can also actually create a sales page that you will use on launch day. Or you can create an entire website that describes your service, etc., and includes contact information and links to purchase a service. These are a few of many options. Yeah, it's up to you to decide what works best for you right now at this stage of your business. Okay, so in this lesson, I'll go through a detailed step of how you can set up a WordPress site for under $150. If you already know how to set it up, awesome. You can feel free to skip this lesson. But further down in this lesson, I'll discuss possible, or rather, I had already discussed it. I'm sorry. But point is, you can also hire a web design service to help you rather than struggle and spend forever doing this thing if you don't want to. I don't want anything to hold you back, really. That's my goal. So I don't want you to anything at all to hold you. Technology can sometimes hold us back. So the first step is to register a domain. That should cost you $9, and you shouldn't spend more than 5 minutes doing that. Once you are happy with your name, remember you already have a business name, so this should be easy. You just plug it in, pay for it, and voila, you have your domain ready. Ideally, .com is better if it's available, but if it's not available, you can use any other extension. I've used namecheap.com and I like them. They could be a little more pricier than others, but they're kind of stable and I just like them. No hassle. Their customer service is great. Awesome. So you can use them. By the way, you can find the link to namecheap.com down on this video, below this video, and that should be easy for you to just go there, search for the domain using the business name you already have chosen, and then register it. Boom, that's done. 5 minutes. And then the next thing you want to do is set up your hosting. That should cost you about $4 per month, and you shouldn't spend more than 10 minutes doing it. You can sign up for a shared hosting plan with Namecheap or Bluehost. People speak highly of Bluehost too. I am not suggesting any of these are great. I'm just putting them forward as affordable options, and I've used some of them and I like them. So, I'm not vouching for any one of them. And they have great customer services as well. You can use their chat button to talk to a rep, and that person will help you up until when you install WordPress on the website. Yeah, that's how easy it is. Less than 10 minutes, you should be done with that. Yep. Next thing you want to do is to choose a theme or landing page for your website. That shouldn't cost you more than $70. In fact, some places will even, a lot of themes are free. I've never had to pay for a theme, ladies. Most of my themes are free. Yeah, because I'm shrewd, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But when you're starting out, come on, you get to be shrewd because you have very little to do a lot. So, and you have to do a lot rather. So, choose your theme. And if you want to put up a coming soon page in front of it, that's pretty easy. You just install a install a plugin that will just put the coming soon page right there, and will be able to collect people's email addresses. Again, if you chat with a customer service person on the platform you use, they'll show you how to do all of this. Pretty straightforward. It shouldn't take you more than an hour to do that. Yeah, it shouldn't really. And the next step is to create a simple lead capture page. So inside WordPress, you can move over to plugins and click on the add new button, and then enter the keywords cprod coming soon. Hit the search button, and then you will see the plugin will pop up. Then you click install now. Then when you have done that, it will give you the opportunity to click on the activate plugin button. And once you have activated it, go over to the settings on the left, I think, and then click on the coming soon page. When you've done that, connect that coming soon page to your email system like MailChimp, Drip, Infusionsoft, blah, blah, blah. There are a bunch of them out there. All you need to do is pick one and connect it here, and it's pretty easy to connect. So it probably just asks you for your API, something pretty simple. And then once that is done, once people visit your coming soon page, you can ask them, hey, we're coming soon. Do you want to give me your email so I can tell you once we're up? Some people will give you their email address. So once that is done, you move on. That shouldn't take you more than an hour either. Next, you launch your theme. Again, we talked about getting a theme, either the free one or the paid one. This is for people who want to set up a full website. They don't want just a temporary page. They want a full site. There is this people called elegantthemes.com. Their themes are not free. You get to pay for their themes, but I think it's about $60 or so. That's what their theme costs. And so once you've installed the theme, you go to appearance on your WordPress dashboard and you click install themes. Then you upload the zip file which you bought from elegantthemes.com, and then when you upload that file, click on install. It will install the theme on your website, and then you have a beautiful theme to design the way you want it. So you start to play around with it and give it the color, shape, whatever you want to give it. And when that is done, you have your website. Now, your challenge today is to go ahead and get your website created. If you do not want to do it yourself, I suggest you visit this website called zionike.com. Okay, I'm going to be honest. Zionike.com is my husband's website. My husband does IT. He's into IT, and he creates websites and apps, mobile applications for people. So you can feel free to visit him, or you can go anywhere else where they can create your website for you. Is he going to charge you $200, $150? Honestly, I don't know, and I don't have any control over that. However, I am going to leave additional resources on additional websites where you can get free to cheaper website building options that you can explore as well. And the more information I get on that, I'm going to leave them below this video. So for now, I know of Zionike, and as I get some more, I'll leave them below this video. Okay. And once you're done creating your website or hiring somebody to create it for you with the content you built in the last lesson, please come join me. Don't forget though to share your website link with the ladies. Let people look at your website and give you feedback. There is nothing as great as having your friends give you objective feedback on something rather than the public. So please, ladies, take advantage of what you have here. Other ladies are ready to look at what you have and tell you that this looks really nice, this looks not so nice, change this one, things like that. People pay a lot of money to get somebody to review their website. Now you have one here. I want to encourage you to use it, and please review other ladies' website as well. We are a community. We want to grow. We want to move our business forward. So let us be real sisters in this regard. When you're done, again, come find me in the next lesson. I'll be waiting. Bye for now. Hello, ladies. Welcome to this awesome lesson. Honestly, I'm super pumped about today's lesson, and you'll understand why soon. Today, we're going to be talking about what I call see me, hear me, buy me strategy. We are going to be strategizing today, and it's exciting because I don't know about you, but I like hands-on stuff. I like the creative part of running a business, where you get to think and you plan and you come up with exciting strategies and what's going to work and things like that. So I'm super excited about today's lesson, and you would understand why I call it see me, hear me, buy me strategy. Okay, now let's jump in. So when you have an idea, a message, a business you want to share, you have to communicate it with your audience. Your aim is to intrigue, compel, delight them so that they want to find out more about you and what you have to offer. When you do this, people will become your tribe of customers. I call this the see me, hear me, buy me strategy. And I have outlined 11 of them in this lesson. The goal is to have you thinking about which of these strategies you will employ in your business, either at lunchtime or as you take your business to the next level. Okay? At the end of this lesson, you will get a chance to pick one strategy you will start executing, or you will strengthen if you're already executing that strategy. From now till the end of this program, you will work on executing the strategy that you have picked out in line with the targets that you set for your business in an earlier lesson. Okay? So this is super exciting. This is part of our series on delivering. Remember, we talked about the 3 phases of business: the getting clarity, the packaging, and the delivering, which you can also call execution. And I'm going to be using the word execution interchangeably as we go forward in this lesson. Okay, so your first see me, hear me, buy me strategy is creating written content on your website, which we all popularly know as blog. You know, I've heard many small business owners say that a lot of their early customers came as a result of their content marketing effort, which is like blogging. But before I give you my own notes, here is how Liam from Track.io used the same technique to sign up 217 paid customers in the first few months of launching. So Liam researched some rising trends and realized that at the time, growth hacking was a popular term. He looked at what was out there, and then he saw that most of the content that was out there was discussing what the job role meant. There wasn't really a whole lot to implement, um, a whole lot of information on how to implement growth hacking for a startup founder and marketer. So he decided that he was going to take advantage of this opportunity, and he published a few very detailed blog posts on the topic. He gained around 2,500 free signups through these tactics after a few posts did particularly well. Liam's business is now getting organically, is now getting a lot of leads organically, but this was just because the blogs he created at the time were a boost. It enabled him to get enough customers to start building a great product with direct customer feedback, right? So that's how he used the strategy of creating written content for his website, and you can definitely think about doing the same thing for your business. But one thing you want to note though is that blog post takes quite some time to begin to produce results, right? This is a graph that kind of tells you, gives a pictorial um, summary of how long it takes and how many blogs you probably need to write for you to start getting a certain number of leads. And leads are just simply people who are potential buyers of your business. So for example, if you have 10 or blogs that are 10 or less, you're not likely to get more than 100 leads, right? If you have 11 to 20, it goes up a little bit, a little above 100. But check, if you have over 200 blogs, see how many lead blog posts, look how many leads that you're likely to get, over 600 and things like that. So that's just something you want to bear in mind. Blogs are great, but it takes you writing a lot of them to be able to see the reward, and it takes a few other considerations if you decide to go that route is that if you think about Liam's experience, when he says that content marketing isn't the fastest way to get customers, he is right. But he also agrees that it is the cheapest. It's fun and it helps other people too. So that's a lot of good reason to consider using content marketing in your business. Um, on top of that, there are some things that you can do to get quicker results, like publishing your blog on other high traffic sites. But there are also other considerations from my experience that you may want to consider as well. You can create, in-depth content based around the customer's problem that your business is solving. Does that make sense? So, and then you can also make your content super actionable and useful to the customers that your business to the target audience that your business is serving. It can be it's thing is, you cannot allow your blog to be boring. So don't just create content around what your area of expertise is. Think about what your customers will potentially find exciting, and create blogs around it. Create anything that they would find interesting. Make your site ready for email opt-in so that when people read your blogs, they'll be excited to give you their email so they can get alerts on more of those types of blogs. Don't worry about SEO. Um, Focus predominantly on creating contents that are useful. Again, it takes some time. It's not exactly the fastest. Doesn't bring exactly the fastest results, but it helps people, and it produces results in the long term. Yeah. The second see me, hear me, buy me strategy is creating audiovisual content. Now, speaking of video content, consider this lady called Kerry Green. She's another female entrepreneur like you, and she's done super well, very, very well, in her own business. So for Kerry, after producing her first magazine for a while, she decided to take a shot at the video gist, this whole video thing. And her first video, according to her, was horrific. Like, you know, um, she looked, according to how she described herself, she said she looked so stiff and she sounded really boring. She knew that she could never share it. So she made another one and then another one until eventually she decided to just share one with her audience. Guess what? She learned how to edit in iMovie and then she uploaded it to YouTube and so on and so forth. She created a blog post on her website and embedded the video. one of those videos that she didn't like. Yeah, and voila. Then, according to her, she wrote an email to her subscribers, and it took her about 30 minutes to actually hit the send button because she was so nervous. I can really relate to her. When I started creating these videos you all are listening to, oh my goodness, you have no idea how nervous I was. Like, super, super nervous. Like, I talked about it the whole time. I complained about it the whole time. My girlfriends were like, come on, it's not as bad as you're thinking. It's great, actually. You have a good voice. Blah, blah. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, I don't even like to hear my voice, and things like that. But I can relate to Carrie. But Carrie says that as soon as she sent out the emails, the response was amazing. She received the sweetest emails ever. Since then, she has been persevering with it, and she makes more or less a video every week. And while she does not get a mass of views, it has helped her to create so much authority and credibility. The people in her audience feel like they know her because they do. According to Carrie, she was even more elated when a girl came up to her in the bathroom and told her she was a massive fan and loved her videos. The girl even asked if she could get a picture with Carrie. So, yes, you may say creating a video isn't for everyone. Well, that's true, but it's worth giving it a try because, I mean, people say numbers don't lie, right? Let's look at the numbers. In 2014, the number says that video accounted for 64% of the world's internet traffic. 64%, ladies. And by 2019, Cisco predicted that that figure will go up to 80%. So technically, in this year where we are now, these videos account for 80% of the world's traffic, meaning 8 out of 10 people would go for a video content more than any other type of content, right? So numbers don't lie. Yes, it may not be for everyone, and honestly, as I'm telling you, I'm speaking to myself right now, but video is not for everyone. But Chini, you need to give it a try. So trust me, hold me accountable. By this time next year, you will have seen me everywhere. Yeah. Because I am going to make it happen. I will make it happen. I will make it happen. I promise. I promise myself. Yeah, so let's keep going. Then the next see me, hear me strategy is what I call the podcast. We all know what it is, podcast. Well, some of us don't, but anyway, some people prefer creating podcasts instead of creating video. I kind of see myself in that category. I kind of, can relate to the idea of podcast more than video. I don't know why. Maybe just because I feel like I'm not going to be alone talking to myself. Maybe, um, but um, podcasts are incredibly valuable too because the number of people who listen to podcasts is going up by the day. In 2012, John Dumas said about creating a daily podcast show where he would share an inspiring interview with an entrepreneur. It came about because he was looking for a daily podcast sharing interviews with entrepreneurs and he couldn't find one. So he decided to create one himself. Something like similar story with how this G-Wave class started. I was looking for, I was like, oh, okay, let's just create one. So what did he do? He crafted out the concept for his show. He wrote out who his perfect listeners was, and then he decided to create a free, valuable content consistently. So his podcast is called Entrepreneur on Fire podcast. It was born, and soon after that, his tribe that he now calls his Fire Nation began to develop. His listeners loved his daily podcast and they subscribed to his show, right? Um, they even began to get to know, like, and trust him more because they see him all the time and hear his voice all the time. And then his podcast has grown from just having his business has grown from not just having a podcast to having various online products such as a product called Podcasters Paradise, where he teaches people how to start their own podcast. Since starting his podcast, John now has a huge tribe of fans and a business that generates seven figures a year. Isn't that amazing? So this is definitely something you want to consider as an option, and then check it out, see how it goes. The next is um, or rather, still on podcast. There's something I need you to go away with. This um, John Dumas's story is kind of like illustrates the power of being seen and heard. If you are in the B2B service business that thrives on networking, a podcast is the easiest way I can imagine, for you to network with CEOs and other entrepreneurs. You can build relationships with influencers in your space, and everyone I know who has started a podcast, they list networking as the number one benefit. So if you're like me and you don't love the idea of calling up an influencer just to talk, then a podcast interview is an awesome alternative. You are creating the free content for them and helping to spread their message, so you don't feel bad asking for an interview. Okay? Some other benefits of podcasting is that it's quite easy to do. Not everyone can write, but everyone can talk. Hearing your voice builds people's trust significantly. It opens you up to an entirely new market channel like iTunes and Stitcher and radio and all of those. It allows you to have one-on-one time with people in an entirely new situation. For example, when they are driving, when they're at the gym and things like that. And it also gives you great authority in your field. A lot of people have a blog, but podcasting is still fairly new because many people assume it's difficult and they need to have a studio to do it when it's not actually true. So you can do it from your home, just like I'm shooting this video from my home, right? Yay! So it's what trying out really. Now the number four one is to start sending emails. Your email list will become one of the most valuable assets in your business. A list of people who trust you that you can contact exclusively whenever you like is a gold mine. It can take time to build up a decent list, but the best thing you can do is to start as early as possible. So here is a link to a simple step-by-step guide to building your email marketing campaign, which I found useful. I really found that link pretty useful. You might find it useful too. So check it out. Now, how do you set up and start running your email campaign? A couple of things to remember. First, adding people you know when you start is a no-brainer. And this is very interesting because for me, that was so counterintuitive. I was so scared of getting people I know to know what I'm doing because I was thinking that if I failed, they would laugh at me. So I would prefer to let people who don't know me know about it. But in business, the numbers suggest that it's different. It's always better to start with people that you know because you really don't know what they're thinking. Yeah, some people might laugh at you, maybe. Some other people would really promote you. They'll be proud of you, right? So start with people you know. Add people you know into your email list. Well-known tech blogger Andrew Chen, he did the same thing. He started writing emails to his friends at first, and then he grew from there. The second thing you want to pay attention to if you decide to go with the email piece is that consistency is key. I must be honest with you, email marketing campaign can feel like cold calling people. I have been there. I've been there. And when I started, I was so nervous. Oh my goodness. I would send an email and I'll be watching like literally every minute, checking who opened it. Did they open it? Oh, did they respond to it? Oh, did they kick me out? Literally. And sometimes people don't even respond. Like you may send an email to like 100 people and then only two people will open the email and I'll be like, oh my goodness, really? Did I not say anything? It feels like cold calling people. It also takes a while to start getting people to respond. But that's what I didn't know at the beginning. I wish someone told me that. So this would have helped put things in perspective for me, right? A third thing you want to bear in mind is that you can absolutely hire a campaign manager to help you put together and manage your email campaign. Ladies, let us not fall into the temptation of trying to do everything ourselves. I've been there. And to be honest with you, until I started to learn to let people do stuff for me, some parts of it, I got so much freedom and I could do more. I found myself being able to do even more. I found my 24 hours more productive because I was like, okay, which of them do you feel you must absolutely do yourself? And then I decide, and then I'm like, okay, where do I find somebody to do the remaining one? And then I look, right? Sometimes I find somebody, sometimes I don't, and I eventually do it myself. But the point is, I released myself of the pressure of feeling that I must do everything. As a matter of fact, one of the fears I had for not living it out is that I felt at the time that if I let people do it for me, then I'll be telling a lie. People out there think I did everything myself. And then when in actual sense, I gave out a part of it to do. So I felt guilty. Oh, people will think I'm telling a lie. But that's not true. The CEO of big companies, they don't do everything, but they are still known as the CEO. They're still the owners of the company, right? So they are not telling a lie. As a matter of fact, they are doing even better. In fact, they get the applause and accolade because they are able to demonstrate that they are not just able to produce something, but they can get people to rally around their vision and deliver on the vision. So, ladies, you can absolutely hire a campaign manager to help put together your email campaign for you. If this is something you would like to explore, message me. I have a few people that I've worked with in the past who I can point you to. Okay? Awesome. Now, the next one, next strategy, see me, hear me, buy me strategy is doing a guest blog. There's this person called Terry Lane who works in finance. And when he worked there, there was a few niche gossip blogs that folks in the industry would follow. Not the big players though on Wall Street, but on Wall Street Journal, but smaller ones with content revolving around bonuses, employment, and the likes of it. So what did Terry do? When he left the industry to start his own men's accessory business called ballerleather.com, he approached the editor of one of those blogs for guest posts. He planned on sharing his story of starting a business and the lessons he learned since leaving the industry. And I thought that was cool. Actually, I think that, yeah, it was a unique angle he took, and the content was different than most of the usual topics. From initial outreach to the post going live, it was done within 1 week. So, ladies, you don't have to stress out. Just, it's a blog, 500 words, max 1,000 words. That's what it is, you know. And when Terry did that, the article was only a short 600-word piece, but it was highly relevant to the folks in the finance industry. And by the end of the day, he has made $700 in sales. The key for Terry was just being honest and upfront while constructing a genuine, real, and interesting post to share with his audience. The other key was that he knew his customers extremely well. Effective guest blogging is like every other form of marketing. It's about targeting. If you can get your marketing, if you can get your message in front of the right people, it will work well. If you get the message in front of irrelevant people, it won't work at all. That's the truth. And I learned this, I didn't learn this early. I didn't learn this early. Imagine me selling a strategic planning service to program officers and program managers in organizations. Really? Really? I did that. That was stupid, but I did it at the beginning. Who does that? The people who think about strategic planning are the CEOs and the board members. They are the ones who are interested in the vision and strategic direction for an organization. They are the ones that will probably want to know what I have to say. A program officer is interested in the program, implementing program and organizing, coordinating and managing how programs are designed and implemented within the organization. They are usually brought into strategic planning processes, but they do not make the decisions. That's not their prerogative. But I didn't know that, right? I didn't do my homework well when I started out. So what did I do? I was selling my product in front of program officers. What was I even thinking? Right now, I'm like, what were you thinking? But then I didn't know better, and then I got disappointed a lot of times when I wasn't getting a response, when they were not even opening my emails. I'm like, oh, we don't care about that. So that's a big lesson, something to bear in mind. Now, the next see me, hear me, buy me strategy is delivering a webinar. Everybody does a webinar now. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people have seen the juice or the honey in this strategy, and it seems to be going everywhere now. um John, and I think now this is what I think, and I may be wrong, but I feel like I don't know that many people listen to those webinars, but I do know that a lot of people sign up for them. So if they are like really, they have really interesting sales speech, people sign up and like, oh, I'd love to listen to that, but they don't eventually go sign up for it, or they don't eventually listen to it. So, but anyways, the people who are doing the webinars have gained either way. If you show up for the webinar, then they get to sell something to you. If you don't show up for the webinar, they already have your email address, so they're going to keep emailing you, right? They're going to keep telling you things about what they do and things like that. So either way, it's a win-win for them. So John Dumas started a daily podcast at Entrepreneur on Fire by September 2012, and by December he had recorded 115 episodes with entrepreneurs. Now, um, according to what I read about him, he was getting hundreds and thousands of dollars of hundreds and thousands of monthly downloads, but he wasn't making much money. So in the 18th month, since um, but the bottom line from this slide, honestly, is that John Dumas's sales came from selling memberships, and he marketed his memberships through webinars, right? So he did webinars and then invited people to join his membership groups, and that's how he made a lot of money. The podcast wasn't really bringing him money per se directly, but it was getting him out there and giving him credibility. But when he started to do webinars, then he started to get people into his membership club, and then he started to make money. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's something you want to consider exploring. Yeah. Now, um, what another thing that John Dumas does is that um, he gives away a lot of free stuff like ebooks and in return for email addresses. And this strategy has helped him to provide a lot of value and help for people, and by doing that it has given him more trust. People get to trust him better, people get to know him, and people get to believe in what he's doing, which is very great. So, and he does webinars every week, right? And when he does his webinar, he closes on sales. People buy what he's serving, like his membership and things like that. So that's something you want to consider. Personally, that's what I've been considering. I've been considering doing that as well, in addition to my podcast. But anyway, I'm in this with you together, so we're all trying to decide what direction to take, and we'll make it. We'll make it. The other one is giving a presentation at a local event. Ladies, there are a lot of local opportunities for this. You all can decide on a local event, and don't worry about if people will come. That's usually the biggest fear. Oh, what if people don't come and things like that? People have done it. Someone called Adam Franklin. He used local workshops to meet workshop meetups and conferences to connect with his potential clients. So people, even if it's 5 people that show up, 10 people that show up, 50 people that show up, the most important thing is that they came to hear what you have to say, and you've made some new connections. They may buy your business immediately or they may buy your business later. But the point is, you're getting people to see you, to hear about your business, and to buy your business, right? That's a strategy. Again, let's not forget this, ladies. It is a see me, hear me, buy me. That's the goal. People get to see you, they get to hear what you have to sell, they have to buy what you have to sell. You cannot get them to buy without seeing and hearing about you. So, whatever it is we're talking about, let's recognize that every opportunity we get to let people see us, hear about our business, is an opportunity for them to buy our business. So, we want to explore as many avenues as we possibly can within the um, within the time that we have every week or every month to get people to see us, hear us, see us, hear us, see us, hear us, which eventually will translate into sales. So again, this is about giving a presentation at a local event. Organize, you don't have to pay for any expensive place. There are always coffee shops, that are willing to let you stay there if you buy their coffee. All kinds of little little things here and there. Get one together, put it out in events. What's it called? Eventzilla, all this, online event things. Put it out there. Tell your friends, your people at church, things like, oh, I'm having this event, you want to stop by, things like that. Get people to show up. Talk to them about something they are interested in. 15, it doesn't have to be long. 45 minutes, 1 hour, it could be a luncheon, it could be, a dinner, it could be coffee, it could be anything. But put them together and just say something, and do that quite often, once a month, once a quarter, things like that. You'll see that people get to hear about you, see you, and then eventually they'll buy. Is um uh, call what I say do is what I call doing free work. Yeah, why would you want to do free work, right? Why would you spend all your time, energy, intellect, everything doing free work? Well, it has worked for a lot of people, right? It gives people the opportunity to try out what you're having to offer so that they can refer you to people who will be willing to pay for it. That's how it works. You can consider it if you have the time bandwidth to handle it, or if you don't have so many things doing, offer to do that for people, right? For example, if you do websites, you want to offer to build a free website for your doctor's office. Your doctor is going to tell his colleagues, and then they get to know, oh, this guy does an excellent website. Yeah, things like that. So, but again, be strategic in the people you offer free stuff to. Make sure that they could potentially tell a few people about you, things like that. Just think about it, pray about it, and consider it as one of your strategies. And then next one is identifying or leading a local network or group. Now, this is different than hosting a local event. Now, there are a lot of networks or groups locally that already exist. You can first of all identify them. You can sign up, participate in them. You can sign up to make presentations in them. Point is, again, you need to hear me, see me, and then you potentially buy from me. Put that at the back of your mind. See me, hear me, you potentially buy from me. That's the goal. So as you're thinking about this, be thinking about your business. Which of these strategies can I potentially, um, implement, for my business? Which one could potentially work for my business better than the other one? And then, we're gonna go through how you're going to implement them in another lesson. The last one is what I call Coffee Connect. What I found? People love to hear themselves talk, and people love coffee too. So, whenever you're attending any event, don't leave that event without inviting somebody to connect with you for coffee afterwards. It's an excellent strategy. Hey, how about we hang out for coffee sometime? What day and time work for you? Oh, okay. Let me just put in my calendar right away. Nah, let's see. How about 12 noon on the 25th? Oh, sounds good. An invite. Boom, send them an invite. You connect with them. Sit down with them. What are you guys going to talk about? Everything and anything. But don't forget to talk about what you do and what you offer. And also try to learn from them what they do and what they offer. Okay? and then try to find a synergy somewhere that you all connect, something similar. Guess what? One of my first contracts when I started my business came that way. I went to a networking event, then we organized, I met with somebody, and then we decided to hang out for coffee. And then during the coffee, we just talk about our previous experience and what brought us to where we are, and blah, blah, blah. A month later, that person is calling me, oh, I'm looking for this person, I thought about you. Boom, contract signed. It works, ladies. Implement it. Okay, that is the last one that I wanted to share and talk about. So, now that we know 11 ways we can get people to see our business, hear about our business, and buy from our business, there's a three-step process for how you can apply this. The first one is that you need to apply it as a free content. So that is giving people free stuff, blog posts, weekly videos, YouTube inspirational, graphics, tips, social media, things like that. Yeah? You can implement it secondly as a free good, fun worksheets, printables, wallpapers, workshops, webinars, visualizations, blah, 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 things like that. And then you can implement it as a paid good, right? So membership club, monthly trainings, online community, consulting services, things like that. The goal, give people free content through any of the strategies, give them free goods as well, and then get them to pay for something. The free content and the free good is your see me, hear me strategy. The paid good is your buy me, right? You need all three of them to work. Now we know that. Let's this lesson. Your challenge today is to identify a free is to identify a strategy. Figure out which of these strategies we have discussed are you going to move forward with in your business. Okay, that is what you're going. That is your first challenge. Pick one or two see me, hear me, buy me strategy from the list we have just discussed, and decide that okay, this is the strategy I'm going to implement for the next 4 weeks. And then use this see me, hear me, buy me strategy worksheet to create a 4 weeks activity plan for implementing your strategy. What I mean by that is you have this worksheet down below this video. You are going to use it to plan out how you're going to implement the strategy during the next 4 weeks. That's right, you will do it. Oh, you're gonna do it. I know you can. You can do it. Yeah. Interestingly, I've made sure that we tie your strategy with the targets that you have set in the previous video. So you're not just walking and dancing all around. Yeah. And then when you have done that, your next task is to share your strategy with the ladies, and don't forget to provide feedback to other ladies as well on their strategies. Yeah, give them suggestions on how you think they can implement it, or suggestions on other strategies that you think they should consider, things like that. Yeah, they really want to hear from you, and I know that you want to hear from them as well. Okay, and when you're done, come find me in the next